How's it going everyone? I'm Lazerk and welcome to the channel. Around 8 months ago I decided it's time to upgrade my gaming rig, and one of the components that required a refresh was the case. After some research, after checking some videos and reading some reviews, I decided that I'll go with Be Quiet Pure Base 500DX. I chose the case mainly because it promised good airflow, it was spacious because it's a middle tower, so there would be enough space inside for the components I was planning to buy. And after 8 months, I think it's finally time to share my thoughts with you. So this is my long-term review of the Pure Base 500DX from Be Quiet. Also, just a side note, I bought this case with my own money, so Be Quiet did not sponsor this video. They did not send it to me as a review sample. I bought it for my own use, so Be Quiet had no idea I'm going to review it for you. This is just a side note. All the opinions in this video are my own. Let's start with some general information about the case for those of you that maybe haven't heard about it before. And by the way, if you're looking for something specific, you will find timestamps in the video description below. Also, if you find this video helpful, please consider leaving a like and subscribing for the channel for more content like this. The Pure Base 500DX is Be Quiet's attempt at a high airflow case, and a very successful one in my opinion. On the front you will find a mesh cover that allows plenty of air to get inside, openings at the top and bottom for better air intake, and the case comes with 3 Be Quiet Pure Wings pre-installed. The included fans are more than enough to keep the temperature of the interior in check. My CPU and GPU rarely get above 50-60 degrees Celsius while under heavy load. The case also has 2 dust filters which are easy to take out and clean, one at the top and one at the bottom, and it also has another filter which is hidden behind the front mesh. They work really well, as even though my apartment can get pretty dusty pretty fast, the inside of the case after 8 months of use without any cleaning stayed pretty clean. The case is made mostly of steel, which makes it feel robust and sturdy, and has a side panel made of tempered glass to allow you to peek inside and admire your build. The glass panel covers whole side of the case and is slightly trimmed around by black tape to hide the mounting area where the glass attaches to the metal frame. This makes the case look really elegant and spacious. Be Quiet made a smart move to cover the area where your PSU is installed with a metal shroud, so you don't have to look at your messy cable management, which adds to the aesthetics of the case. Another thing that helps with the cable management are cable outlets at the bottom and the center of the case. Thanks to that, there are almost no cables running across your motherboard, GPU and so on, and it makes cable management so much easier. While we're on the topic of cable management, the whole back panel can be removed to access what you might call a maintenance area. There you can manage all the cables and arrange them so that they don't take up any space inside of your case. But that's not all. There's also space to mount your additional SSDs or HDDs. There's a dedicated cage for HDD drives. In total, you can mount up to 5 2.5-inch drives and 2 3.5-inch drives. The PSU is mounted at the bottom of the case. The side panel also hides all the front IO and RGB cables that you can connect to your motherboard. By the way, if you have any trouble connecting your case to your motherboard's RGB controller, I've made a dedicated video which should help you sort this out. Just remember that you need a motherboard that supports addressable RGB. The front I/O includes one USB-A port, one USB-C port, as well as an audio and microphone ports. Next to those you will find a mysterious button which allows you to control the RGB on your case. This is great if you don't have any RGB controllers on your motherboard and you would like to change the default display color. The case comes with a variety of RGB settings, for example rainbow effect, breathing effect and static colors. After playing with various effects, I decided I like the default one the most, with the strip displaying static orange color, as I think it looks great with black and accentuates the components inside the case really nicely. The case, even though it's a high airflow case, does a decent job of suppressing the sound inside of it. The included fans are really quiet, and when coupled with Be Quiet's Dark Rock Slim, make the build very quiet even when under stress. The biggest noise contributor in this case, no pun intended, is the coil whine on my GPU. It can get very irritating at times, but putting on closed back headphones and cranking up the volume does a good job of suppressing the sound. Since the case is a middle tower, you will find a lot of space inside for your peripherals, fans, AIO water cooling and so on. It supports up to 360 AIO coolers if you decide to take out the HDD cage. I had no issues when putting my build together. You can take out almost any part of the case if you have to, which is also great. One thing I will note, however, is the default fan configuration. It comes with one fan at the front, one at the back and one at the top. The front one is set to air intake, while the other two are set to exhaust. I suggest taking out the top fan and putting it at the front, as in my experience it will make the temperatures of your components even lower. Another thing that might bother some people is the glass panel. It's not hinged, so each time you want to change something inside, you need to unscrew 4 screws, which doesn't seem like much, but if you tinker a lot with your build, it can get a little irritating. So after 8 months, am I still happy with the case? Well, I must say that I really am. The high airflow construction that Be Quiet decided to use here does a really good job of keeping my components well below 60-70 degrees Celsius when under heavy load. The glass panel is a great addition that allows you to admire your build, especially if you have some RGB goodness inside, and my 3080 Strix sure does. The case is big since it's a middle tower, so I have enough space for all my cable management, for my GPU to have enough air around it to cool properly. It's also very easy to access the motherboard and plug all your power support cables. And for example, each time I change a GPU, if I want to, for example, test a new one, do the performance test, it's very easy to just take out the glass panel and connect the new one and provide it with power. Another thing the case does really well is noise control. I mean, apart from hearing the very irritating coil whine, I almost hear no fan noise at all. Of course, the fans sometimes spin up to keep up with the cooling, but I have never found it to be really irritating or something very disturbing. And Be Quiet also made sure to include like a dampening foam on the back plate where you don't have the glass to make the sound even more suppressed. So good job, Be Quiet, on that. And when it comes to price, which probably is the most important factor for all of you, I've seen the case go for as low as $100, sometimes even less. So I think for this price, you really get a lot for the money. You get a nice RGB, which is really tasteful, not over the top. You have a glass panel, which allows you to peek inside, and you also have 3 included fans, which do a really good job of keeping the temperatures inside of your case really cool. So after 8 months, I can honestly recommend this case for anyone who's building a new PC and is looking for a middle tower. And on that note, we're going to end today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, as always, consider subscribing to the channel for more content like this, and leave a like if you really like the video. I'm Laser. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.